YECHI Adonai Moren Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach Le'ilam Vayed. A good tevach, everyone. Tonight's story, hageulah.com. Scroll all the way down to Sichat HaGeulah. Click over there on Parshat Pekudei, and the following story will come up. There's a shliach of the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach to Moldova. His name is Shmuel Zalmanov. And in Congress Mashiach event that took place last week, he said the following story. He said that as a Bachar in 770, he came back from Moldova. He was in Shlichus over there, and he was very successful. He speaks Russian, and he came for a break to 770, and he was going to be there for a few months, also as preparation for Shidduch. He was coming up to age, and he wanted to learn 770 before he goes on. So, but a lot of people in Moldova were very liking him, and they were pressing on him to go back to Moldova and continue the activity over there. And he did not know what to do. And he went to his mashpia. His mashpia told him, why don't you open up IGROS KODESH and find out what the Rebbe wants you to do. He went ahead and he took out volume 8, Ker Ches, from the bookshelf. He opened up. It doesn't mention what page it was. Just that he only says that he took out volume 8. And he opened up, and the Rebbe told him that it's very important to continue the activity with the youth, with the boys and girls, wherever he's at, and it's a very important activity to continue. He should not stop. So right now, Shmuel Zalmanov understood that he has to go back to Moldova. And there was a line in the letter that says that books were sent to him as per his request to establish the library in his yeshiva and at his office. Shmuel thought this line was out of context. In other words, it happened to be in the letter, but the main answer was to go back to his shlichus in Moldova. He did not really consider this sentence as important as the entire letter. He thought it was part of the answer, but not really directed to him. And it got him kind of like interested in finding out how this will unfold itself. What did the Rebbe mean by that books were sent to him to establish the library that we talked about in his yeshiva? So he closed the book, and he went ahead and booked up a ticket to go back to Moldova for Monday, the following Monday. The next day, Friday, everyone went on Mivtzaim, all his friends, and all of a sudden an idea came in his mind. Maybe he should buy a Gemara, one volume of Gemara translated to Russian, because in his route of Mivtzaim, he always meets a guy speaking Russian, and he will give him that as a present and definitely be excited to receive that. Since he's going to leave right now, he's 770, he's yeshiva right now, and he's going back to Moldova. This will be a present, a goodbye present for this fellow that he meets every Friday. And he goes ahead and he buys this volume, and he goes off to Mivtzaim. When he gets to Mivtzaim, and he reaches that guy, before they put on tefillin, Shmuel says, I have a present for you, and he takes out the book. He says, this book is translated to Russian. I want to give it to you as a present. I'm going back to Moldova now. We're not going to see each other for a while, so you could learn from this. This really will be very interesting for you. It's all translated to Russian. You will understand it very well. The man is really excited. He says, wow, I want to pay for this. And Shmuel says, you don't need to pay me for this. I don't need any money for real. I'm doing this to you as a present, please. He says, no, I insist. And the man insists and insists, strongly insisting that he receive some money for it. And he pulls out money from his pocket and he gives him the money for 2 sefarim, the worth of 2 volumes of what he gave him. And he says, listen, when you get to Moldova, you will need to buy books to learn with the people over there, please. So Shmuel takes the money. They depart. He says goodbye. Shmuel goes back to 770. Goes through Shabbos. Sunday comes. And right before davening Mincha with the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach, Shmuel's eyes catch a guy who was standing not far from him. He looks very familiar. That he had talked to before in the past. He was very interested in talking to him again. And he says, Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Yid, how are you? You remember me? He says, sure, sure. And they started talking. And both of them, as they're talking, they found out that actually both of them grew up in the same place in Israel, Migdal HaEmek. Right before Mincha began, the man all of a sudden turns to him and says, you said you're going back to Moldova. Do you need any books? And Rabbi Shmuel says, yes, I do. But they couldn't really speak any further because Mincha was just about to start. After davening Mincha, they got together again. And the man told him, listen, I want to give you books before you go to Moldova. Why don't we go out and buy you some books? Because you're definitely going to need books when you're going to Moldova in your Beis Chabad. You will definitely be learning with people all the time. And this is something that you will need. Shmuel was really striked. He didn't tell the person yet about the letter they received from the Rebbe, but he says, yes, that's a good idea. Why not? Why don't we do that? And I go to a bookstore. He didn't mention whether it was Kingston. I just assumed this was Kingston Avenue where they got the books. They went out to the store, and Shmuel picked out a set of Sfarim of Halacha, Code of Jewish Law, that are relatively easy to understand and read, easy language to understand for a beginner. And the man says, why don't you get another set? This was a large set made up of a lot of books, many parts. And he said, another set? He said, sure, because, one person learns with another person, you'll need two of each, at least. And he got him another set. So this really made up quite a few boxes of books. They loaded them up to the car, and they drove off. And on the way, Shmuel was telling this man, something, this is very interesting. I want to tell you about a letter I received from the Rebbe a few days ago. The Rebbe told me, and I thought this sentence in the letter was totally not connected to the answer that I received, but apparently everything in the letter the Rebbe gives you, you have to really look at it and not take it lightly. It's all connected and it's all to you. And the Rebbe told me that I'm sending you books for the library that you need to establish at the yeshiva that you're going to. This man was really, really excited to hear this. And excited to the point he said, I want to see this volume. I want to see that answer you got. And Shmuel Zalmanov took him. He took out volume 8. He showed him the page. He showed him the answer. This man was really blown away, seeing this one sentence that apparently at first, when Shmuel Zalmanov looked at it, thought did not really have any relationship to the answer that he was looking for. And he gave him that book, he gave him that volume, and the man said, from now on, I see there's a place that I can go to ask all my questions and all my requests from now on. YECHI, Adonai, Morenu, Rabbeinu, Melech HaMashiach, L'olam Vaed.